growing up in the shadow of towering spruces and the perpetual whisper of the wind, I learned that survival wasn't just about braving the cold or escaping the clutches of the wild. It was about understanding the ghosts of our past, those that shaped the very ground we walked on. I was born in a small mining town, a place where every family had histories as deep and intricate as the mines that brought us our livelihood. My grandfather was a miner, and so was my father. The town was all we knew, enveloped by dense forests that held secrets older than any of the tales passed down by our elders. As a child, I listened to stories of the spectral figures that wandered the woods, spirits of those who once called our town home before tragedy struck in various forms. Fires, collapses, and the harsh, unyielding winters. These stories weren't meant to frighten us. Rather, they served to teach us respect and understanding for the forces of nature and history, suggesting that life and death were deeply intertwined with the land itself. Yet, as often happens when youth's fleeting courage takes hold, I found myself skeptical. I considered these stories nothing more than elaborate myths, tales to keep us from venturing too deep into the woods. That was, until one winter's night that etched itself forever in my memory. I was about 16, rebellious and itching for some semblance of adventure, or at least a break from the monotonous drone of daily life in a mining town. Fueled by this restless energy, I convinced my two best friends to explore the forest with me after sundown. Under the veil of the thickest snowfall we had seen that season, we ventured beyond the familiar paths, guided only by the daring that comes with youth and the muffled sounds of our steps in fresh snow. Our laughter and shouts seemed to be absorbed by the snow-laden trees, creating a bubble of warmth in the icy world. But as we went deeper, an inexplicable stillness settled over us. The kind of silence that weighs on you, as heavy as the winter's night itself. It was then, amidst that suffocating quiet, that we saw it, an ethereal figure, draped in the whitest silks that fluttered in a non-existent breeze. The figure floated just above the snow, its face obscured, yet its presence undeniably human-like. We stood, frozen not by the cold, but by the sight of this apparition that seemed to both exist and not exist in our world. The figure drifted slowly, then paused, turning towards us. We couldn't see its eyes, yet we felt its gaze pierce through us, reaching into the depths of our very beings. I remember feeling a wave of intense emotions, sorrow, fear, but most of all, an overwhelming sense of regret. It was as if this spirit carried the weight of unspoken stories, of lives intertwined with the relentless pursuit of the earth's hidden treasures. Instinctively, we turned and fled, not stopping until we burst through the tree line and the familiar lights of our homes pierced the darkness. We never spoke of what happened, as if acknowledging it would make it all too real. That encounter changed me. It was no longer possible to ignore the lessons woven into the folklore I had once dismissed. I began to see the importance of our histories, of understanding where we came from, and the stories of those who tread the paths before us. These spirits of the past, I realized, were not remnants meant to haunt us, but memories meant to guide us. They remind us that we are not just passing through this landscape. We are a part of it, molded by the same forces that carved out the valleys and raised the mountains. By respecting these stories, we learn not only about our ancestors, but also about ourselves. We find lessons in their struggles, their resilience, lessons that push us to protect what they held dear and forge a future that honors their memory. In this realization, I found a sense of purpose, a commitment to preserve the legacy and the land that shaped me. It became my motivation, my guiding principle, to respect and protect the environment that is not only our home, but a living history book of all those who walked its soil. You think it's important to remember and honor the past while we strive towards the future. How do you connect with your history, and how does it influence your present? Share your stories. I believe every memory has a lesson to teach us, just as mine did on that snowy, haunted night.